it's Aunt Kelly and Blue, and we're ready to read you another story from the Advent calendar. Are you ready for your story? All right, here it comes. Mwah, good night. Today's story, Dumbo's Snowy Day. One chilly day, the circus animals were on their way to a new town, but their train, Casey Jr., was struggling to get through the falling snow. His wheels slid on the icy railroad tracks. Finally, Casey Jr. decided it was too dangerous to keep going. The train came to a stop and waited for the snow to pass. Dumbo was happy that the train had stopped. He'd never played in the snow before. He thought it felt very strange as he tried to walk through it. His mother, Mrs. Jumbo, encouraged him. "You can do it," she said. Soon Dumbo got the hang of walking through the snow. All morning, Dumbo and his mother played in the snow. They gathered snowballs together with their trunks, they made snow elephants, and even played hide and seek. But as Dumbo and his mother explored, they got farther and farther away from the train. Suddenly, Dumbo slid down a steep hill. He called after his mother to follow him, but when she reached the bottom of the hill, Mrs. Jumbo realized she couldn't climb back up. Dumbo tried to push, he tried to pull, but nothing worked. Mrs. Jumbo slid further down the slope toward the sharp edge of a cliff. "You'll have to fly off and get help," she told Dumbo. So Dumbo flew off as fast as his ears would take him. As he soared toward the train, the wind began to blow. It pushed harder and harder against him. Finally, Dumbo's ears got so cold he couldn't fly. He worried about his mother while he waited for the wind to pass. Once the wind died down, Dumbo raced to the train. He gathered all the animals together so that they could help. "What are we waiting for?" Timothy Mouse cried. "We've got to save Mrs. Jumbo." Dumbo led his friends back to the cliff. By the time they found Mrs. Jumbo, the windstorm had pushed her even closer to the cliff's edge. The animals knew they had to think of something fast. "Oh dear," worried the giraffe. "How could we get down from there to help?" Timothy snapped his fingers. He had an idea. "Everybody line up," he shouted. He ordered the animals to grab one another's tails. At the front of the line, an ostrich leaned over the cliff to take hold of Mrs. Jumbo's trunk. "1, 2, 3, pull!" yelled Timothy. The animals worked together, huffing and puffing and pulling and stretching until Mrs. Jumbo had made it safely to the top of the cliff. But suddenly, there was a loud crack. The cliffside gave way and the animals tumbled down. "Watch out!" yelled the hippo. "Yikes!" cried the monkeys. "Uh-oh," said the giraffe. "Help!" shouted the bear. All the animals tumbled together and rolled down the hill. Before long, they had become a giant snowball. "How do you stop this thing?" called Timothy as they zoomed along. The snowball gathered speed until... crash! Bang! Boom! Oof! The animal snowball hit the bottom of the hill and broke apart. "Is everyone okay?" Timothy asked as he straightened his hat. Luckily, everyone was fine, just a little dizzy from their unexpected snow ride. All the animals began walking back to the train. Walking wasn't nearly as fast as riding a snowball, but it was a lot less scary. That night, Mrs. Jumbo gave Dumbo a warm bath. Thank you for flying to find help today, she said to her son. Dumbo smiled and blew a trunk full of water over his head. Hey, don't forget about me, said Timothy from his teacup bath. I helped too. Mrs. Jumbo nodded. You certainly did. Thank you. Aw, gee, said Timothy. It was nothing. Nothing at all. The end. Good night. Sleep tight.